And welcome to episode 3 of the Mediocrity Perfected podcast. It's January 5th, 2013. We have me, Mike Krosky, Matt McFadden.
Hello.
Rich Gooch.
Hello.
What? Are you okay, Rich?
Yep, great.
Stealing my bit by saying hello. Already.
And Ian Gruber.
Hey.
Mr. Personality, back in full effect, huh, Ian?
That's right.
Here we go. Episode 2, I think we have a whopping 14 views. I just looked, so that's great. Let's keep upping it up. Shoot for 20 this go around, huh, guys?
That's pretty optimistic.
Terrible.
14's not so bad
Compared to what, Rich?
compared to how many friends we have. Nobody likes us. Nobody wants to listen to it. So 14's pretty good, in my opinion.
The first good point I've heard Rich make. Our lack of friends.
Yeah, really, I just want to do this as an excuse to hang out with you guys from 2,000 miles away. So I don't care if anybody else listens or finds it funny, frankly.
You hear that, audience? Stop listening. We don't
Yeah.
want you.
Just turn it off now.
Please.
Just click it and put it on mute.
All 6 of you that are listening, just turn it off. Don't share it. Don't talk about it. Anyway, so today I figured it would be an opportune time, right, to talk about NFL playoffs. Did you guys watch that game yesterday, the Colts and Chiefs?
The end of it, yes.
What about you, Matt?
Well, then me and Ian can double team this because I saw the first half, and then I was trying to get over to a friend's house for the Eagles game and missed the comeback. So I walked away much like Houston Oilers fans 21 years ago did, saying, we got this in the bag. There's no way this game's Dunsky. I missed all the fun, apparently.
Yeah, no, I watched part of the first quarter, and then I kind of popped it back on a little later, and I saw that the Chiefs were up by 21. I was like, wow, because I saw somebody on Twitter that I follow that's a Chiefs fan. They said, finally, it's the first time in my life I'll see the Chiefs win a playoff game or something like that. So I went and looked, and I was like, wow, they're up by 21? And then the injuries started happening, and then there was, I think, a fumble, and it was just one of those things where you could feel the tide turning, and it was like, ew, no. And then, they come back and take the lead with, 2 or 3 minutes to go. And it was actually a really good game. I watched the third and fourth quarter, or part of the third and part of the fourth. And, that was awesome. I didn't see any of the Eagles-Saints game. How was that?
It was fun, and my buddy who is a giant Eagles fan, and so we were sitting next to him on a couch.
Jesus.
I don't know, 6 foot, 6'1".
That's not that
nice
tall.
Literal answer, Matt. Way to go. I was just watching his heart sink and then evaporate on the last drive. Cause you could just, and Mike, you and I know this, being Bills fans, you just had every game, anything that could be good won't ever happen to you, because there's going to be just enough time on the clock for the other team to run the kickoff back and get a penalty, and then be at the 50-yard line.
Yep.
And then just basically run the time down, get a few yards, kick a field goal, and make you go home sad.
That's how it is every time the Bills play the Patriots. Every time. It's like what they won last year, right? I think it was the home opener last year. And I felt like the Bills had won the Super Bowl when they won that game. I was flipping out. And then, of course, the rest of the season was in the toilet, as it should be. And, anytime they play the Patriots, I'm like, I'm not getting excited until there's zeros on the clock in the fourth quarter, because I know what happens. So, kudos to your buddy. Whatever, they made the playoffs. Screw them, all right? I don't have any sympathy for anybody. Bills haven't made the playoffs in 15 years.
They're getting there.
6-10. 6-10.
6-10. Another year of 6-10.
I think we have the 9th draft pick this year. Yeah, just like every year. We're terrible enough to be in the top 10, but not that terrible to get somebody who's going to make a difference. So yeah, it's just the same shit over and over again. It's like being in a domestic abuse relationship. You just keep coming back for more. Oh, no, they'll be good next time. I feel it.
As a coach, what do you say? Like, what do you just, like, you're like, go get him, guys. Like, we don't really have a chance in hell, but go get him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Made a lot of positive steps today. Special teams played well. Punter had a pretty good average. So let's take that to the bank, fellas. You know? Field goal kicker only missed 2 of the 3 kicks he took. Could have been all 3.
Matt, you played college football. Were you guys any good?
We not in my first 2 years. We were 5-15 over those 2 years.
Jesus.
And then we went 6-4 and 5-5. Well, it's kind of totally mediocre, but it was the first back-to-back non-losing seasons in 20 years for that school.
Boy, did you go to the right program.
Yeah, we all go to Division III to play football, right, Mike? That big hefty scholarship that they offer.
Oh,
football
good for you,
players.
Matt.
No,
Wow.
Mike, they don't have those.
Oh, they don't do that. Oh,
No.
my apologies.
Jesus.
Well, see, you're used to it. You're a Bills fan. They stunk it up then too. So you're just like, yeah, it's par for the course to be below mediocre.
So I said somebody reminded me last night. The Bills haven't been good since Jim Kelly. He kept calling him Shotgun Kelly. I'm like, why don't you just call him Jim Kelly? Call him by his name. Jesus. Don't forget Doug Flutie. He had a good.
We had a good
run.
season. Drew Bledsoe had a good half a season about 8 years ago. That was good.
You know, if you remember a guy named Rob Johnson took us to the playoffs. Say us like I fucking play for the team. Ugh, stink.
Actually, Doug Flutie took the Bills to the playoffs, and then Rob Johnson played and blew the playoff game.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Memories, right?
No, he didn't even blow it. It was the special teams. Anyway, this is getting way too inside. Who cares about the Bills?
Nobody.
So, big drinking game today. Okay?
Okay.
Today's playoff games, who are they?
We got
San Francisco and Green Bay.
Cincinnati and
Haskell,
San Diego.
Where's that game? Where's that game being played?
It's in Cincinnati.
Okay, and the other game is at Green Bay, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
How many times? Here's the drinking game. How many times do you think the announcers are going to say cold, frigid, frozen tundra, or something like that?
Dude, you'd be drunk by like 10 minutes in.
Exactly. It's going to be really annoying.
Wow.
Get him.
These
yes.
announcers are stupid. I mean, I remember it was probably 10 years ago. It might have been longer than that. Maybe 15 years ago, the first time I recalled my dad just saying how much bullshit these announcers were. It's like, anyone can do this. I can do this. Watch. And he just started saying stuff like in the middle of a game, and the announcers would say the exact same thing 30 seconds later. It's just like, and I've done it a few times, just in a mock voice, like a mocking tone, and then you just get parroted by people being paid to do this, and it's astounding how easy and hack that profession is.
Well, yeah,
God, I want a job there.
Well, especially on those networks, because they just want somebody who's going to play it safe. They don't want somebody who's going to ruffle any feathers. You know what I mean?
Who do you think the worst in NFL sportscaster is?
Oh, that's easy for Mike, isn't it, buddy?
Oh, God. Dumb Joe Buck.
For me, it's a toss-up between Joe Buck and Bob Costas.
Bob Costas is just a pompous ass.
I hate him. So I've hated him since 1996. Piece of shit. Cost the Braves a World Series. Jinxing them.
Well, Mike, who's the biggest cuckold in the sports commentator universe? More specifically, the NFL.
Cuckold? Obviously, you're trying to lead me somewhere, and I don't know what you're referencing, Rich.
Chris Collinsworth saying that he looks like a guy his wife cheats on him.
Oh yeah, that was my line I had. He does. He absolutely looks like somebody. I forgot about that line. Thanks, Rich.
Stupid Chris Collinsworth.
He absolutely does. And Joe Buck's Go ahead, Rich.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I never really noticed it until you said something. He does look like a guy whose wife cheats on him with like black men.
Oh, absolutely, and he's all into it.
He's the one that kind of sucks the cream out of the vagina after he's done.
Yeah, it's so true. And Joe Buck, I am sick of his robotic. I'm going to smile
ridiculous.
at the camera, and then I'm going to turn every 3 seconds and face the guy that's talking, and then I'm going to smile again. It's so phony and fake. I really hate him. And the only reason why he's in the business is because of his dad, which is what really makes it annoying.
Didn't he have like a throat condition?
Who?
I thought Joe Buck. I
wish
remember
somebody would have
rooting.
slit it.
I remember. Jesus Christ. He had some medical issue where something wrong with where he would almost not be able to talk, and I was rooting so badly.
See, that proves there's no God. We were so close.
Well, speaking of the commentators, something else that really annoys me is the color analysts before the game.
Whoa, Rich.
Racist.
This is the 50s.
Stop it.
You got Jimmy the Greek over there. Richie the Greek. Go ahead.
Anyway,
stupid.
I like them.
Before the game, you know how they're talking about how frigid everything is going to be, and then they go into analyze which team is going to have the advantage over any other one.
Right.
And it's like they're talking about Green Bay, about how they might have an advantage over the San Francisco 49ers because they live on the Bay and Green Bay plays here. And it's like, if it's going to be that cold, like -16, nobody has an advantage. Nobody wants to be out there doing that. It's just stupid.
Yeah, once it's below that, or once you get to that kind of temperature, nobody's... Like, it doesn't matter if you play in Green Bay or if you play in Miami. It's still freezing. Everybody's hands are frozen. Everything hurts. You can't breathe. Your face is red. I don't know exactly how that would ruin your football, but
really petered out there, Mike.
Yeah, I was just say it's like
it's like my car when I ran out of gas one time. It's just like I was like, "Oh, is this really happening?" And it did. In my 1986 Volvo 240 DL,
which I would have happened in a bad neighborhood. We never made it out.
It happened in between Valley View and this is inside Valley View and the Grandview, Grandview Avenue ramp.
Well, you didn't let them search your car, did you?
You didn't have to. As Rich told us last time, those guys don't have any authority at all.
None.
That's right.
Not even
police
real
officers, Schmalief officers. Yeah. So anyway, are you guys rooting for anybody? Well, we know Ian's rooting for the Packers. What about you guys?
Ew, what?
No. I don't know. I guess, Ian, well, just shut up. We know you're a giant Packers fan. You wore Brett Favre jersey to school every day. You are the definitive Packers backer.
Yeah, don't you remember we used to call you Cheesehead during soccer practice in high school?
No.
Yeah.
No, Ian's a fan of the 49ers. He doesn't like the Packers. Ian likes the 49ers, not the Packers.
What?
Ian doesn't like the Green Bay Packers.
Since when?
Since forever. You know this. He's silly.
I hate Rich. I hate him so much. I hate you so much. You literal stupid douchebag.
What about that Sterling Sharp poster hanging above his bed?
Oh, yeah. Sterling was the man.
I remember you were so happy.
Sterling.
You were so happy when Reggie White went there. And you were so sad when he died from sleep apnea.
Mm-hmm. He got choked by his own tongue. What an fat asshole.
He really was. And a homophobe. But that's beside the point. Oh,
that's
yeah.
what he gets.
So I was just like kind of mindlessly working my way around Wikipedia. Like somebody was mentioned during the Chiefs game, and I looked them up, and then you started clicking on other people's names, through the as you're scrolling down the page, and I wound up on a Reggie White somehow. And yeah, he did not like gay people.
Oh yeah, because
Hated
he was a minister or something.
He was. He thought they could be cured of their poor decision to be gay.
I guess God needed a big fat lineman, didn't he?
Or maybe God was just
That's
telling him
what
to
he
shut
got.
the fuck up for a while.
He got a little out of hand. Stupid Reggie White. He was a black gentleman, though, wasn't he?
Yeah. Wordplay? Is that what we're doing now? you want to play the Bloodhound Gang song? Or is YouTube good? Wasn't there a Bloodhound Gang song where they sang about that? Talking about a black guy named White and a white guy named Black, and I don't know.
I don't know. What is this, 98?
Probably was.
What do I care?
I wish.
I wish it was 98. Life was so much better then.
Walking around in like 7th grade or 8th grade.
8th grade, yeah.
Just popping boners left and right.
Oh yeah, and in my gym sweatpants, I remember I had a boner, and I had to go and do a social studies presentation in Mr. Palazzo's class. And I had a boner.
Just
I had a little
trying
boner.
to. You still have a little boner.
No, absolutely. I don't even get boners anymore. What are we talking about?
Those were some fun days though. You had to walk around. I remember like it would always happen like at the end of class. You just walking with all of your books just right down, like right below your belt buckle, just carrying everything right in front of you, hoping nobody notices.
Yep, and then it's rubbing against it, so it feels all pleasurable.
And it gets all sticky, and you wonder why.
This one time, this skank of our class. You remember Lindsay Wright, Matt?
Oh yeah, dude.
She
first and
grabbed
last name. Good. That's good.
Yeah, I don't care. She grabbed my junk. I mean, I didn't have a boner or anything at the time. She just grabbed it out of nowhere through my sweatpants. And John Simpson asked if it was big, and she said no.
You're like, oh boy.
Taking one for the show, guys.
You should have
Get some
grabbed her
laughs.
tit and done the same, that flat-chested bitch.
Yeah, that A-cup stuffing asshole. She had toilet paper in her bra, I'm pretty sure, honestly. That's why she turned into such a little skank. Because she had no tits whatsoever, so she had to put her vagina in front of everything to make up for it. Now
that
she has
worked out.
Children.
Worked out for her 8 kids later.
Mm-hmm. And this person I'm talking about is fictitious. This is not a real person.
No.
I mean, Lindsay W. is what I was going for there.
I thought you meant L. Wright.
Cat's out of the bag now.
Who cares? Nobody's listening to this.
We can just edit it out anyway.
No, I'm not going to edit it out.
No
But yeah.
editing.
So she grabbed my junk, and it was apparently lackluster for her liking. And
Well, yeah, because she's used to fucking Tyrone's dick. I mean,
I know, actually.
Nobody can fucking compete with that.
Well, yeah, and actually that's more or less what I said, because I was probably 13 at the time, and I was saying, yeah, well, of course, because she's used to 18-year-old dicks. I remember I said that to John Simpson.
Nice.
And
nailed her.
It doesn't matter. It's the exact same from when I was 13, and I'm 29 now. So really,
This truly is the Mediocrity Perfected podcast.
Uh-huh.
It really... We all stink.
Are mediocre.
None of us are any good. Well, I guess we're adequate. We are completely average.
You know what?
Well,
go ahead.
Mike or Matt, you got your wife pregnant, so I mean, there's something there.
Big deal.
That's right. I don't know where to go with that. Not sure what the hell you're trying to lead me into. But yes,
well, look,
my wife is pregnant.
I looked up Lindsay W. on Facebook a while back, just to see what she looked like. Because it's fun to, when you don't feel good about yourself sometimes, to look up girls in middle school and high school and see how fat they are.
All her mulatto children are surrounding her.
Uh-huh. Well, she has one or two. I don't know. And, yeah, she looked exactly the same, but with a gut. And so she kind of had boobs because she got fatter, right? So... yeah, so that's one good thing about Facebook. You can stalk people, and they'll never know, which is really good. Mine's private, I think. So nobody can do that. All those chicks who want me so bad can't look me up.
All those chicks.
Hey, I had 2 chicks contact me within the last year. Thank you very much. Former girlfriends that were trying to hook up again, and then I pulled out the old cock block, the marriage card.
Were they former girlfriends or debt collection agencies?
No, girlfriends. Girlfriends, and I knew it wasn't about a paternity case or anything like that, because whenever I would have sex with girls, I'd keep them in mind for a good year and check up on them and make sure that I wouldn't be sprung up on with such news, you know? So, they were asking what I was doing in life and so on and so forth. And then I go, yeah, well, me and my wife live in such and such town now. And then I never hear from them again.
Aww.
But, no, it's good because... No, it makes me happy because I must have done something right with my penis if they came back. You know?
Yeah, he has a point. He does have
or
a
else
point.
You're picking girls who have such bad decision-making capabilities that you, in your awful tiny dick, were the best of the bunch.
Hey, it's all about perception being reality, Matt. So if their perception is my penis rules, that's all that matters. Okay? Thank you. And what... never mind. I'm going to stop there before I get too far into this.
Oh yeah, why don't you throw some more names of fictitious real people out there? God, I hope you get sued.
For what? What are they going to sue me for? This podcast? Yeah,
I don't know.
We want the
defamation of character. You're gonna have to prove
but it's
that
the
she's
truth.
a skank.
Yeah, it's true. I'm sure I could dig up the contact. Like, yeah, they reached out to me. See,
I'll watch my own ass and say all of this is alleged. None of this is proven. Fuck the both of you.
It's all proven. There, I'm saying.
I hope the 2 of you get sued. I'll act as a witness for the prosecution.
Some friend you are.
Exactly. Some friend I am.
Anyway,
Dick.
so talking about Facebook, and maybe want to bring up the worst Facebook offenders. And Matt found a great article before the show that kind of mentioned some of them. And obviously, we're all on Facebook. We fraternize with people on there. So I wanted to see which one of these kind of offenses bother you guys the most. So what were they, Matt? Don't read the summaries. Just go through the list real quick.
Okay, yeah. So this came out a few months back, like around the beginning of October, is when I saw this, and this was the 7 types of statuses that you see that everybody hates to see. We'll just run through the list real quick. You have the brag. You have the cryptic cliffhanger, which is my personal favorite on this list. You have the literal status update. The inexplicably public private message.
I hate those.
The out of nowhere Oscar acceptance speech. The incredibly obvious opinion. And the step towards enlightenment.
So which of those bother you guys the most and why?
Well, since I've said what my favorite was, the cryptic cliffhanger, and there are a couple of people who show up in my newsfeed regularly who do this. So it's basically somebody who had something happen in their life, and they want to let everybody know that something happened, but they don't want to tell you what it was. And the example would be, oh, why would this happen to me today? This is the worst thing that could have happened.
Oh,
and then
God.
maybe they leave it there. They wait for somebody
to go, what happened? What do you mean? Is everything okay?
Oh, I don't want to talk about it on Facebook.
Then why post it?
Because I'm the cryptic cliffhanger, and I hate everybody.
What about you, Ian?
I hate Facebook in general, so all of them would be good for a start. I just think that people want attention, and it's blatantly obvious no matter which one of those you pick. It's like, we get it. Nobody likes you. You need attention. Like, we got it. Thank you very much. Like, you're divorced. Well, if you weren't such a bitch in the first place, you wouldn't be divorced. Mm-hmm. So, all of them. It bothers me.
What about you, Rich?
I hate the brag and the literal status update. I hate when somebody takes a picture of something, like food, and said,
oh yeah, the food
delicious.
is the worst.
Oh man, I absolutely hate it. Like every so often, like if you go to a game or something like at the game with my dad.
That's
okay. Yeah, that's okay. But like, just literal things, and it's on the caption here. It's why are my eyebrows so weird today? Nobody knows what that means.
Yeah, nobody looked at your dumb eyebrows. Nobody cared.
Can see your eyebrows unless you update the exact picture that are explaining why your eyebrows are weird. And the bragging thing. I hate the bragging thing because it's like the cryptic cliffhanger. It's just people who are trying to get that attention when they don't really deserve it.
Absolutely. I think that, and I mentioned this to you guys before the show, but to me, Facebook statuses should be either funny, interesting, or clever. Now, all three of those things could be subjective, okay? So that's fair. But you could at least be attempting a joke or showing a funny picture. Even if some people don't think it's funny, you're at least attempting to be that. Or an interesting article about, something that, most people might not be knowledgeable of. So I think that's good to do. Or clever obviously speaks for itself, right? And Matt mentioned a fourth one, which I think is great, or, do something to make somebody's day, which could, speaks for itself. So to me, it's like if it's not one of those four things, don't post it. Like, for instance, I made my own list of Facebook offenders. And this is where I wish Beam was on here. Because he's culprit of a few of these. But one is the overly open couples. Like the people who go like, oh, Jackie, I love you so much. Oh, Bob, you're so great to me. I have the best husband in the world. It's like, all right, you're fucking standing next to them. Stop posting it so you get a bunch of likes and, oh, you guys are so cute. Fuck you. Take your Leave It to Beaver relationship and go to divorce counseling. I hate you. Anyway, and then parents, like people who were friends of mine whose accounts have turned into baby accounts. So McFadden, don't be an asshole when you have a kid and have your whole account be nothing but your kid. Like, I understand you want to have pictures or talk about it. That's fine. But literally people who their profile picture and every other picture of them is their kid.
I don't get that, and we've talked about it, my wife and I really don't want a lot or maybe any pictures of the kid on the because it doesn't go away.
Right.
And it's like, you can put it on your phone or on your computer, or if you're worried about that crashing, back it up on a CD somewhere and you have them.
Right. Sure.
Or go print them out and throw them in a book. But that really bothers me. It's like, I don't need to see your kid with spaghetti sauce on his face again.
For the eighth time.
I get it. Yeah. Your toddler is a messy eater. Well done.
Wow, that's something new and different. Who would have thunk it? It's so annoying. I've unfriended so many people like that. One, I just can't relate to people where their whole life is their kid. Like, I understand, of course, when you have a kid, it's going to be part of a big chunk of your life. That's great. But literally, when every status, every picture, everything you talk about is your kid, it's like, fuck you. Also, the pictures of every stupid meal, like Rich mentioned. Oh, my God. Like, here's my thing. Going back to the funny, interesting, and clever, right? If Wolfgang Puck just made your meal, take a picture of it. That's cool. Right? That's interesting.
Yeah.
But if you just made a fucking green bean casserole or something, and you're going to take a picture of it, we're not interested. We don't give a shit.
But what if I made a Wolfgang Puck recipe?
You didn't, and it's not as good, and it's not interesting. But like, I have a friend. Literally every goddamn meal.
Have a friend.
It's a girl, isn't it?
No, it's a guy.
What?
Yes.
That's awful.
Yes.
So this guy has a vagina.
I mean, I've never checked and seen. I didn't pull a Lindsay W on him and grab, but I'm assuming he's a gentleman. So, but yeah, and actually, there's a girl close to my life who does that all the time, who I love to pieces, but I just want to smash my computer when it's every little thing. No, mine is never on there. Or the person who has the feeling inspired as their thing.
Oh, God.
I saw a great article. Harvard Business Review. They do a lot of stuff for obviously business, but like your professional career. And they just had one today on Twitter, an article just titled, "Sorry, you're probably not going to reinvent yourself in 2014." And I just laughed out loud.
That's fantastic.
And how true that is.
That is terrific. It's very accurate. Yeah, it's like there's, the people who, they're like, feeling emotional today. Like, ever since Facebook put that thing, feeling at, and then you put whatever little sign it is, it drove me crazy. And, of course, it's pretty much all girls that do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know too many guys that do that, but...
I put it every time I go to the gym. I go, feeling excited. And then I put in parentheses, to work out.
So do they?
Or people who say checking in at such and such restaurant or or the such and such concert. Why do you have to check in?
So that you know that I'm not
know.
at home and you can burgle my house, please.
Did you say burgle?
Yes, he did.
What else would it be called?
Burglarize. Burgle. All right. Yeah, hopefully nobody burgles your asshole, Matt.
I don't think you're using that word correctly, Mike.
Oh, my apologies.
Why would somebody steal my asshole? What are they going to do with it? Sell it on the black market, cut it up, throw it in a frying pan?
Talk out of it? Like you do. Or the people that do...
Nope, just shut up and understand how I felt a minute ago. Oh, my head hurts now.
Or, okay, there, enough time's passed. My bomb is there. Or pictures of everything they have ever done. You know, like they take a picture, I'm crossing the street. I'm at this bar.
You know,
I'm going to this play.
That's just, that falls into this, and I don't know if we have time in this show to talk about people who don't experience life, they just record it.
Oh, that's a great
point.
And maybe we ought to table that one for a future show. But that really is annoying. And I remember when
so annoying.
Ron Bennington, I'm going to mention him in a second because he actually had another one of these types of people. And it's something he said, but I'm going to throw it out there in a bit. But Metallica played a show at the Apollo Theater. The Apollo Theater, tiny little place, Metallica. He's like, there are people. Like, you are 15 feet away from James Hetfield, and you have a cell phone up, and you're recording it.
Amen.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
But that's for the future. Anyway, do you have more on your list, Mike?
I have one more, but I was going to just mention, like, whenever I go to a concert, like I went to a concert the other night, okay? So one of my favorite bands, Built to Spill, not bragging, just bringing it up for the show, and it was driving me crazy, the amount of people, because, again, kind of like you were mentioning, Matt, this is a very small venue. Now, granted, Built to Spill is certainly no Metallica, but, Built to Spill can play in venues much larger. And it was less than 1,000-seat venue, and they sold out 3 shows in a row, like 3 nights. And you have people that are in this balcony that are kind of over the stage. And I'm not bullshitting you, dude. You're probably within just less than 20 feet from the band. And they have their iPad up or their phone and recording it.
Oh my god, the iPad is the worst.
Oh, it's so intrusive.
Who does? Why do you take that massive thing with you?
If you
just
look,
so silly.
Asians do it all the time.
Because
they're the only they have it.
Pictures of everything.
Got so many
Well, they can't see anything.
I know.
They have to have a massive
That's
screen.
racist.
Oh,
That's racist.
I'll stop that line of question or thinking.
Yeah, so I just don't get it. In this, I was sitting dead center in the back, and I'm standing there, and there's a person next to me with the fucking iPad. And I'm just like, you're here.
God.
You're there right now. Why do you need to have documentation? I have a brain. Don't you have memories? Like, I'm thinking of the show right now. It was great. I loved it. Why do you have to record it? Like, what are you going to do? Like, show... People will come to your house. Hey, I went to the Built to Spill show the other day. Here, checked it. Like, what? I just don't get it. Just enjoy the moment. And then the last one is selfies. And I hate the term selfie for one thing. I think it's really queer. But women are the most guilty parties.
Oh my God! Of course, yes.
Here's the thing: if you're somewhere cool and you're by yourself and you want to take a picture of you and whatever that is, that's cool. But why is it there's like this epidemic of pictures from the bathroom or pictures in a hallway?
Because there's an epidemic of self-entitled broads out there.
It's like, we get it. You have glasses on today, or you did your hair. It's like, it's not that important. We don't need a new picture every 4 days. You're pretty much the same. Unless you get into a fire and have your faces burned off, we don't need to see it again.
So you think we should only see selfies of burned victims?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's interesting,
Cancer
or funny,
patients.
or clever. It's one of those three, depending on your personality.
And why do those selfies have to be like they're holding the phone at least 15 feet in the air above their head,
That's not
facing
possible.
down?
Possible, Rich.
Okay, maybe it's only 2 feet above
That's
their
probably
head.
more accurate.
Okay, yeah, that's probably a little bit more accurate. To hide their massive double chin.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's all about angles, Rich. Lighting, aperture, other photography words.
I know. That's how I make my penis look bigger in pictures.
All right,
So, Matt,
I've got
you had
one
some.
more, and this is I'm going to call it the unintentional inflammatory comment. All right.
Okay.
So an example where you would see on Facebook, and I saw someone do this about a month ago. They just the status simply just said, "I am an atheist." Okay.
Is that what's got you so fired up about this atheist thing the last couple of shows?
No, that's just it. It's kind of a nonstop nonsense, and it hit a lot around December and Christmas time. It was just annoying me. They were constantly, and the second you click on something that has comments, and you just start reading through comments of just retards, it's terrible. But this one, it was on Ron Bennington. He said this. I forget what the topic they were saying was.
The great Ron Bennington.
The
I think is what
greatest
you're going for here.
person to ever speak into a microphone ever, Ron Bennington.
Mm-hmm.
And he just said that basically, if you get, there's something like workplace equality, I think, and he basically said, if you put a bunch of people in a room that were just men and women in different ethnicities, the white guy's gonna want to take the lead. Like, white guys like to be in control. And that's all he said. And he got probably 30 straight minutes of people calling in, a lot of white guys, super angry about the statement. And it's kind of like, why? But you can't explain why you're angry, but it's something that just makes you angry. But it's like, white guys like to be in control. Like, oh, no, we don't. No, we don't. That's bullshit. Don't make me sound like that. Yeah. And I don't.
That's white guilt right there.
That doesn't happen a lot on Facebook, and maybe it's not. Maybe there's more thought into it than I'm perceiving. But I do find it interesting when you see something that, in and of itself, is pretty just tame and banal. That's a nice word for you there, Rich.
But there's like when you say something like that, you're looking for some sort of reaction or dialogue, and that's fine. If people want to get dialogue going or get a reaction, great. I don't like when people do that kind of stuff. Then when they get a reaction, go like, "What do you mean? I was just saying my opinion. Why you know what I'm saying?" Like that drives me crazy when they get all up in arms that you would actually respond to them in a negative way.
Yeah, and I think that most of the times what what makes people angry is that person, whoever made the original statement, is looking for attention in some way. And maybe it falls under that bragging a little bit. It's kind of a weird kind of bragging in trying to get you riled up statement. And it works a lot of times. You can write a lot of stuff. I have done things that have put up statuses on Facebook that have been literally a half a second of a thought. I'm like, that makes me laugh. I'll just throw it up there. I know it's going to piss people off. Here we go. Here we go. And then, you know, you get one comment and that's it, and you get all mad at yourself for failing.
Yep, I completely understand that one. Trust me.
Facebook.
Well, you know, a great thing came from Facebook this morning.
What was that? Somebody's birthday? Somebody's birthday? Could you give them a gift? Tell them that you're feeling happy for them on their big day?
You know, I took my birth date off because I feel uncomfortable when people are like, happy birthday. It's like, you didn't know unless Facebook told you. Like, so who cares? Like, I don't really care that's my birthday. Why should you? But, I don't know. I took it off because I hate that. It drives me crazy. Or it's like, I don't want 50 messages, but I also don't want 3.
It always a roll of dice. And if you start paying attention every year, you just get less and less. Yeah. Fewer and fewer people giving a shit about you.
Yeah, it's that insecurity that I think we all have to a degree. It's like, oh, no. But, no, this a great article from Mr. Matthew Herman. He posted it. You mentioned it to me, Matt.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite fascinating. You have it up in front of you. 6 insanely awesome things the 1900s thought we'd have by now. This was actually written in 2010. Is when it was dated. Real quick, I'll go through a couple of them. Physical fitness will be breeding super children. So the 1900s American
let's back this up. I think it was people. I'm trying to think. Was it people in the early 1900s they asked what the world would be like, or did I know? I was trying to figure out like when. Is it like between 1900 and 1910? Is kind of what I thought about. So they had people in between 1900 and 1910 were asked, "What do you think the future will be like?" And this was their dumb horse shit answers.
It said they imagined gymnastics starting in the nursery, where all toys and games will be designed to strengthen the muscles, which I thought was fantastic. And it said what we have instead. Obesity is one of the biggest killers in America, and babies are at an all-time high. Another one, education, a brilliant and generous future. Even in the 1900s, when they were stuffing children down the toilet to clean out clogs. I don't understand what that means. Is that true? Did that really happen? They still thought we'd be sending poor kids around the world on vacation by now. And then, of course, they just thought with technology and things like that, kids would be, super kids, so to speak. What we have instead, sure, we have some financial assistance programs for low-income families, but that's a far cry from a free university education to everyone. On the contrary, education costs are rising each and every year, and students that do go to college graduate directly into an assload of debt. It's absolutely true. I mean, are any of us not in debt from school?
I wish I wouldn't.
Yeah. Yep. Lots of debt. Just trying to help, Mike. I'm just trying to help. Back up your points. I'm just going to keep talking so there's no dead air. I
don't care. I like dead air.
I feel the dead air.
Personal transportation. Like flying cars and jetpacks and what have you. I don't know if they consider, today really what we have outside of vehicles. I don't know if personal transportation would be considered like skateboards or bikes or scooters or something. But we certainly don't have the likes of jetpack. Who came up with the jetpack? Who thought that would be a good idea anyway?
I don't know.
People can't even fucking drive on paved roads on the earth. Could you imagine people flying around with jetpacks?
Just strapping a gasoline-powered propulsion pack to your back. Have at it.
Like, people drive through buildings as it is. Right? So, like, could you imagine a jetpack? That would rule.
It would be great.
That would just be fun to see, actually.
How many people would just fly into an abutment of some sort?
How many people would be in the emergency room because they burned their feet off? They like put their feet back too far.
What about segways? Is that kind of what they had in mind, maybe?
I don't know.
Maybe.
The greatest irony of the Segway is that the guy who invented it died driving a Segway off a cliff.
That's absolutely true, by the way.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And I hope he got a Darwin Award for that. That's right up there. There was a story a little while ago, maybe a week and a half or so ago. Some guy in China took a cab ride. I think he took the cab ride and then he didn't want to pay, or somebody didn't want to pay him. Maybe he was the driver. And because he didn't want to pay or wasn't going to get his money, his response was to light himself on fire and try to hold on to the other person so that they both burned to death.
Oh my god.
The other guy got free, I'm sorry, he was the cab driver and a cop gave him a ticket. And the cop wouldn't, he was begging to have the ticket taken away, and the cop wouldn't do it. So he lit himself on fire and grabbed onto the cop.
What?
Yeah, so
Oh
the cop broke free and the guy just burned to death on the sidewalk.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Did he have firecrackers in his pocket?
Racist. It's racist. Jesus, Rich.
Rich is going for the shock value here.
Shock and jock Rich.
Hey, everybody, my name is Rich Goob. Should he have firecrackers in his pockets?
Right,
Well, what was his name? Ding dong.
Oh, that's good. Well, hey, by the way, I actually posted something on my Facebook page that I thought was fantastic. Did you guys see the article about Natasha Leggero, the comedian?
Yeah, I did. That was phenomenal. I
love it.
I loved her response. Why don't you go ahead through the story?
Sure. So, Natasha Leggero is a comedian, right? She's pretty famous. She's been a headlining comedian for several years. I'm not huge on her personally, but I mean, she certainly has a big following. It's very successful. And she was on the New Year's Eve show with, what's his name? Carson Daly.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the topics of discussion was this thing. There was like something called the SpaghettiOs tweet, in which like the canned pasta cartoon mascot asked followers to take a moment to remember Pearl Harbor with us. And her joke to that was, it sucks that the only survivors of Pearl Harbor are being mocked by the only food they can still chew.
That's a pretty good joke.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid.
And so naturally, you get this fabricated, manufactured outrage by people who are just waiting to be outraged about something that is insignificant. And, for instance, some of the tweets were making fun of Pearl Harbor vets. I've got family on the SS Arizona. There are a lot of things to mock, not them. Or making fun of Pearl Harbor vets, changing channel, disgusting, really, NBC? What are some other ones? Making fun of Pearl Harbor vets. You're a vile human being.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so, anyway, just a bunch of nobodies getting upset, wanting to kind of have... To me, I think when people get mad about something so insignificant like that, I think it's this, like, they have a void in their life, and they want to feel like they're making a difference somehow. So if they get somebody fired or get somebody to apologize or grovel to sponsors, like a lot of celebrities do now for some reason, they feel like they've accomplished something. And her response was, I'm not sorry. I don't think the amazing courage of American veterans, and specifically those who survived Pearl Harbor, is any way diminished by a comedian making a joke about dentures on television. Do we really believe that the people who fought and defended our freedom against Nazis and the Axis powers will find a joke about SpaghettiOs too much to bear? Sorry, I have more respect for veterans than to think their honor can be impunged by a glamorous, charming comedian in a fur hat.
Impunged, you fucking idiot. The word is impugned.
Oh, sorry, my
stupid bastard.
So, on the other hand, you have veterans who receive inadequate care upon their return from active duty, rampant sexual assault against female soldiers, staggering rates of suicide, traumatic brain injury, PTSD, substance abuse, and depression among soldiers, and political gridlock that prevents these problems from getting solved quickly. Which, boom, right there, I think is the key aspect of all this. If you're that outraged about a fucking joke, take all that outrage and emotion and effort and put it into the various things that she listed right there. But nobody's going to do that because it's going to take some actual work and a lot more than 140 characters on a stupid tweet to make a difference.
You're right.
And that's the shit that drives me crazy.
It's so much easier to just be angry and then tell someone to kill themselves than it is to actually do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also funny and ironic how many people who get offended by something turn around with some of the most offensive comments to that person you would ever see. I mean, just to say, go throw yourself off a building, go shoot yourself in the head.
Right.
It's just, people are so fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm. What are your guys' thoughts?
They agree with me.
I don't understand what, like, when the world became so PC. Like, it never used to be like that. Like, everybody's so uptight about everything. Like, it's just a fucking joke. Like, relax.
We say that it didn't used to be this way, but it did. And
it's just that now that we're older,
it's catching me every now. But you go back decades, and you find examples of people saying, like, this is a slippery slope. It's taking away freedoms, or putting up censorship. It's been happening forever. There's that great video clip of Rod Serling from I think a few years before he died. It's in black and white with him talking about censorship. It's like in the 1960s.
Yeah.
But it does seem like it never gets better. It only gets worse.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, it's always existed, but it's so much worse today. Like, you can't say anything on TV.
Well, I think it's because we live in the self-published generation where everybody feels like their words need to be heard. And look, we're making a dumb fucking podcast. But we aren't trying to take away people's livelihood. I hate that term. Livelihood, or attack a comedian for making a fucking joke. And I think the reason that it seems like it's worse now, Ian, is just because we're older, and it's something we're recognizing. When we were 7 or 8, none of that stuff resonated with us. You know what I mean? So it seems like it's new, or it seems like it's getting worse. But I think it's probably exactly the same, like McFadden mentioned, within the 60s. Where now it's just we're seeing more people voice an opinion because they can, when 30, 40 years ago they couldn't.
I also think that...
Mike,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Rich.
I was just going to say, Mike, I think that... And to Ian's point, it's so much more widespread now. One, because there's a bigger population, and two, it's so much easier to be exposed to this type of material about political correctness and things like that. But I will say that I think this taking one of your quotes, this manufactured outrage is something that is relatively new. That people are more phony about it than they used to be. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So, and what this woman said, I'm a big World War II historical buff, and I'm a big proponent of the military. I would never join the military. I know that's kind of hypocritical, but I like them. I see nothing wrong with this. This person said nothing incorrect or wrong, and it's not like she's saying something to take away veterans' rights. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
Quick question, Rich. How do you become a buff about something?
What you do is you take a history book with you to the gym.
I honestly didn't want to laugh at that.
What a boob.
It was so so terrible.
That's great. Oh. But I was going to say, it also seems like this kind of gets back to people don't want to do the work anymore. They don't want
Absolutely.
to. When somebody gets offended, they don't want to think about why they're offended. They just want to react.
Right.
I think Louis C.K., we'll call him the great Louis C.K., talked about it, and he did it a couple of times. He talked about when some guy tried to take he tried to change the name of the character in Huck Finn
Oh yeah.
to Slave Jim. And
Instead of nigger
yeah,
Jim.
and he brought it there, and he did it also with All in the Family, where like you're supposed to be offended, you're supposed to feel offended, and you're not. You're supposed to look at Archie Bunker and see what he's doing and go, oh, I get it. We're not really supposed to think this way. And the same with the George Jefferson character on it. So like, oh, I get it. He hates Archie Bunker just because he's a white guy. Maybe we should think about that. But it's just so much easier to be outraged and go, wow, well, we should all just get along. Okay, how? Wow, I don't know. I'm just offended. And it's...
Exactly. There's a great quote by Ricky Gervais that I'm just going to paraphrase because I don't remember it specifically. But he said, nobody has the right to not be offended. And just because you're offended doesn't mean the topic needs to be... it doesn't mean it shouldn't be discussed anymore. It just shows a barometer of how you can't handle your own emotions. And that, I think, is exactly right. Because here's something, whenever people say, I'm offended about a topic or subject, what I say to them is, okay, you're offended? Well, I'm offended that you're offended. Now what do we do? Because people who get offended by something seem to think them saying that puts up an obstacle and a roadblock into this topic at hand or whatever I'm saying. So to me, to cancel that, I go, hey, now I'm offended. And then that just leaves people like confused and not knowing what to say. And it's like, yeah, that's the point. It's like, just because you're pissed off about it, now I'm pissed off. So they were equal. So let's just keep having this conversation and get somewhere with it rather than just halting it right there before we get to any kind of, well, you're probably not going to get to a resolution. But at least have some sort of dialogue about it. Like, that's the thing that drives me nuts. People think they can't be offended or else.
Yeah, and it's, I think, a different tact that I think I feel like taking with people. It's like they go, I'm offended. Okay, cool. You have every right to be offended. That doesn't change this topic or this discussion or invalidate the opinion of someone else. It's all just opinions anyway. You know, and it's people get outraged at stuff. And then sometimes you ever see people try to take the quote, higher moral ground in some way to go, oh, that's cool. I respect your opinion. You're wrong, but I still respect your opinion. It's like, well, fuck you. An opinion can't really be, unless you said, in my opinion, you know, Franklin Roosevelt's not dead. Okay, like that's a wrong opinion. He's dead.
Well, then that's not an opinion. That's just a fact, or something you thought was a fact that is incorrect.
So, you probably got me there on that one. But to tell someone their opinion is wrong, it's like, no, it's not wrong. You just disagree with it. You know, I would wager to say that 90% of the opinions of people I hear I disagree with.
Right.
It doesn't mean that it's invalid or that it's wrong or that they shouldn't think that way. They do whatever they want. Think whatever they want. We can talk about it if you want. You can always have a discussion. Why do you think that way? Well. But nobody wants to do that. They just want to say, I'm right and you're wrong, and I hate you, and I'm offended by you, so you should just bow down to everything I want. End of story.
I think the best thing about that Ricky Gervais quote is the emotional barometer. I think that's the most poignant part of all of it. It's because that's what it is. It's just a knee-jerk reaction, an emotional reaction, to something that they find distasteful or don't like personally. But that doesn't, like you said, Matt, invalidate whatever the topic at hand is. And that's the problem. People get too caught up in their emotional reaction that they're not going to look and dig into what the actual situation is and see how they can better it.
Yeah, but don't you think, I think some of the problem is that people are just reacting for the sake of reacting.
Well, yeah, that's that manufactured outrage that I'm saying. Like, most of that's all bullshit anyway.
Right, so when somebody says that they're offended, they're probably really not that offended. They just don't really have an opinion about anything and want to validate themselves as people by saying that they're offended at something that other people happen to be quote-unquote offended by.
It's a great point, Rich.
So I mean, the Patrice O'Neill, the great Patrice O'Neill, since we're going down the line of comedians who apparently are the only honest people left in the world.
No shit.
He said that what happened to people's rights to be offended? What happened to people's rights to hate somebody? You know what I mean? So where did that go? Why is that such an issue? Like, yes, you can be offended, but everybody is so polarized into ways that they should or shouldn't be feeling. That's
a great point. The polarization of all that. One of my favorite Patrice questions, because Patrice would ask questions that were so simple, but were so poignant at the same time. And one of my favorite ones is what you referenced, Rich, where he goes, "Why can't I hate you?"
Yeah,
and it's so true. It's like we live in this world where people act like they can't be disliked, or people can't hate them. Everybody should get along. And it's like, when the fuck has that ever been even the slightest bit possible?
That is a great question that Patrice had. I don't know. Somewhere along the way, it just became easier to make the majority of people change what they're doing rather than having a discussion and explaining to the minority position why we're not going to change things just because they're upset. And
I think it's actually a little bit simpler than that. I just think it's easy for people to bury their head in the sand than it is to deal with the problem.
That's a better way to put it.
People like to be told what to do. People don't like to lead.
Yeah, no, I mean, people are afraid to think outside the box or go down a different path, and be innovative. And I think your point, Ian, with the burying their head in the sand, we live in a world where people, in all actuality, they'd prefer to bury their head in the sand. But what they do instead is pop their head out for just a second, say this thing, and then put their head right back in. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But they don't pop their head out, look around a bit, kind of analyze the situation at hand, and then say something. You just go, pop head out, blah, 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 this is what I'm supposed to say, I'm offended and mad, and slam their head back in the sand. That's the problem.
Didn't South Park do a really good episode like that when Family Guy wanted to air Muhammad on TV, and so to disassociate themselves from the TV show, everybody started burying their heads literally in the sand. And it's like, they were just those guys that have a great way of doing it. But I mean, it's absolutely true, Ian. That's a very, very good point.
It's just ridiculous because when you look at it, just because, like, you may be offended what I'm saying, but I'm offended you sniff cocaine and fuck your wife in the ass. I don't fucking say anything to you about that, do I? No. So
that sounds like a good Tuesday, Ian.
Keep your fucking, you know what I mean? Like, just because of what offends me, I don't have to chime in every time you say, hey, I fucked my wife in the ass tonight or something like that. Like, I don't have to sit there and repeatedly say, well, this is my opinion and this is right, like I think Matt was saying. Like, just shut your fucking mouth and let me say what I want to say. Like, I have a right to say and feel the way I do, and you have that right too. So, I don't need to see it on fucking Facebook either. Just
me personally, I don't care if somebody disagrees with me. Like, I don't dislike them or hate them. The thing that bothers me is when people have an opinion but don't have any reason behind or any substance behind the opinion.
Yeah.
They just say it, and then when you say, well, why do you think that way? And they don't have anything to go to it or if I reply, well, okay, I understand what you're saying, but what about this angle? Have you thought about this? And then they just refuse to even acknowledge that. That's when I get very upset, because then it just shows you're a phony.
Yeah, along those lines, I don't know if I get bothered when people can't automatically explain why they have an opinion. Because I can understand someone saying, why do you feel that way? I don't know, I just do. And to me, that's okay. What really bothers me is when people don't want to have a discussion. They just want to get the last word. They just want to say, here's my side, blah, 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 done. No more talking. I don't want to hear anything else. And it's kind of like Ian said, they want to just say their piece and bury their head right back in the sand. Or I think Mike said that part. But the people who they just want to say something and then be done and then just walk away and have no more discussion about it. And to think that means that they won. They just need to win the argument or win this debate instead of just letting the debate be a debate and just go back and forth.
That's huge. That's the thing. So many people look at it like a win-loss thing. It's not about that. It's just, I think it's interesting to have discussions. Like, for instance, I think it was our first show when it actually ended up getting cut out, I think, when we were talking about marijuana, and I said I'll never support it being legal. And then, you guys came up with these different things, and I said, I understand what you're saying. I don't really have a great argument against it being legal in comparison to like alcohol or whatever. I just won't support it. And it's like, it's not about you guys won the argument or I lost or vice versa. It's just that's my opinion. And, let's talk about it. Like, I thought some of the points that you guys made were great. It doesn't mean it's necessarily going to change my mind, and it doesn't mean that I'm going to change yours. And that's okay. It's not about changing people's minds every time. It's just about having an open discussion, and maybe you'll fucking learn something.
That's a good point, because you're right. You're never going to change somebody's mind. But I think you should at least be open enough in the discussion to let you don't have your mind changed, but maybe a little piece. Maybe just a little piece, just a small little bit to say, you know what, that's a good point. I've never really thought of it that way. I still hold my opinion on the whole of the topic, but you made a really good point about that one thing. But people just want to say no. I believe this, and that's all I believe, and I don't want to believe anything else. And it's just it's annoying, it's exhausting. And it's so fucking aggravating.
Well, that's because most people really don't have an opinion on it. They don't care. They don't know. Mm-hmm. Most people don't feel one way or the other about most things. Like, on average, you ask somebody about gay marriage, they'll say, I support gay marriage because that's what most people are saying. They don't really have a good reason as to why. There are very few people that you can actually have a debate with, that you're not screaming back and forth. It may get a little heated because it's a passionate subject. About anything can be a passionate subject, and you can actually get somewhere. And what you said, Matt, is you can't necessarily change somebody's mind all the time, but you can acknowledge a good point, something that makes sense when it happens. I think the problem is that most people don't have legitimate opinions.
Absolutely, and I think that's a big problem, is that people don't want to go, hey, you got me. That's a good one. That's a good thing I'd never thought of. Because then they feel like they're losing. So what they start doing is grasping for any kind of possible retort, right? Look, we're on relationships here, right? Women are terrible at that.
They do it all the time. They do it all the time.
Exactly. It's like you go, yeah, but this is what happened, and then you completely counterpoint whatever they said, and then they're like, yeah, well, and then they just start grasping for straws, which is always fun to see, because then you're like, yeah, I was accurate on this point. But I'm not really going to, quote, win the argument, because she's just going to keep going until she starts yelling more than me, and that's usually a good sign for the guy.
Or they say something that pisses you off so much that you start getting mad and saying stuff, and then once you start cursing at them, they won the argument at that point. Well, there's no reason to yell and curse at me.
Yeah, or they start hitting you with fucking high heels.
Well, you just said that you liked taking black cock in the ass more than mine back in
God,
college.
Rich, always going towards that. You can't just...
Are we not allowed to do that?
Just always going for the shot. Hey, everybody, Rich Goops with the black cock joke.
Oh, that's not acceptable?
No.
Even after that discussion we just had, that's weird.
No, your opinion, that's just you're wrong. Everything you just said is wrong. Good old shock and jock Rich. Way to close out this one with a bang.
Hey, can I say,
You can say whatever you want, Rich.
well, when we were talking about Facebook and people adding their children to Facebook, and you told Matt he better not do that, I find it, Matt, to be honest, that it's kind of strange to think about you having a child, because just a few short years ago, right when you got married, you and I had gone to a Blue Jackets game. For those of you that don't know, that's our NHL team here in Columbus. And on the way to the strip club, Matt is blasting, I can't remember what 80s metal band it was, and he's beating his dashboard with his fist, and he's just wasted, saying that if I didn't get married, I would have drinking myself into oblivion. And now this guy is having a kid.
Well, you know what? I agree 100%. I remember when you mentioned it, Matt, to us that you were going to have a kid. The first thought that came to my mind was during Raskball when you would squat and have a ball look like it came out of your ass. It's like this guy's breeding. It just doesn't seem right.
We all gotta grow up sometime.
You should have seen his dashboard. It had knuckle prints in it because he was hitting it so hard.
Oh, I can totally believe it. That's why he's so grateful for his chick, man, because he's right. He'd be like fucked up like Rob Shepard. As much as I love Rob, and he's actually getting his shit together now, thank God. I was always worried about him.
Bobby.
But yeah, Matt would have been that guy. Absolutely, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
So thank God for, well, I'm not going to say her name, but thank God for her.
Yeah, thank God for her. It's thanks for bringing that night back into my memory, Rich.
Oh,
good
man,
God, that was
one of the
that
most
was
fun nights I've ever had.
That was just speeding for no reason down the road.
He was going like 100 on Fishinger Road.
Like a manic episode, almost just going nuts.
It was so stupid. It was so much fun, though.
Oh, that
Just
rules.
a lunatic, couple of raving lunatics. I think I was just trying to out shock and jock Rich that night. Like, who can be the
Well, you certainly did a good job, sir.
how weird can we get this? Oh,
Good
my
job.
God, that
Good
was a
job,
fun
man.
night.
It was great.
Hey, now, I don't know if you guys know this, but maybe you can answer it for me.
Mm-hmm.
In 1903, with presidential permission, Morris Mitchum began marketing these toys.
Teddy bears.
Wow, how did you know that?
It's Teddy Roosevelt.
Well done. Do you know what that question is from, gentlemen?
No.
Jeopardy.
Yeah, it's the Jeopardy test.
Oh, I'm so happy for this. Yay, the Jeopardy test. Who the fuck cares?
Me, I want to see if any of us could get on Jeopardy.
The answer is no. You know that we're... you know the answer to that question.
All right, well, here, what about
All right,
this?
let's go. All right, how do we get on Jeopardy, Mike?
Okay, so to answer, I would like you to say your name. And then you have to say it in the form of a question.
Oh my, we're really doing this. We're really doing this fucking morning zoo fucking hack bullshit. All right,
I love it.
Let's go. Well, what's the first question, Mike?
Well, this term for a person who works for various employers comes from knights who sold their skills.
Matt, transsexual.
That is incorrect, Matt.
What is a
Rich.
transsexual?
Incorrect.
Rich,
Rich.
what is a freelancer?
Yes, we will accept that. What is freelance? Freelance. Rich, I take it, do you have the test up in front of you?
I do not.
Okay. There you go.
What?
All right.
That's the incorrect buzzer.
I know, I was testing it to see if it would work, because I know
Oh.
the next answer is going to be wrong from whoever answers. Regarding this... no, we're not doing that. Stop cheating, Matt. I hear you typing. In 2008, she played Daisy, the lifelong friend of Benjamin Button. The topic is actresses.
Oh, that's easy. Rich, Kate Blanchett.
That is incorrect.
Kate Blanchett?
Matt, Roseanne Barr.
Was that not correct, Mike?
First, you didn't have the in the form of a question, and you pronounced it incorrectly.
Oh, all right.
It is who is Kate Blanchett? Yes.
Damn it.
Okay, the topic is Mountain High. This 14,700-foot peak in the Swiss Alps is famous for its shape and in the danger of ascending it.
Rich, what is the Matterhorn?
Ding, ding, ding. Well done, Richard. I don't have a ding, ding. So.
You were only prepared for us to have wrong answers?
Oh, I mean, I didn't expect anybody to get anything right. I think that the closest I would have had to it would have been like this. Or this. Or this. What about that? Oh, what about that? We could do that one. Yeah, okay. U.S. presidency. He was the president during the War of 1812.
Rich, who is James Madison?
Yes, well done. I can't do the fucking right answer thing. Yes, well done, Rich. How about that? Okay. Speaking in tongues, this language was invented in Warsaw in 1887 by Dr. L.L. Zamenhof.
Matt, what is Pig Latin?
That's actually a good answer. But
it's a great answer, and I know it's the right one.
Nope.
I have the test in front of me, goddammit.
Nope, that's not accurate.
I don't have any idea.
Ian?
I have no idea.
All right. It is... What is Esperanto?
That's
Never
the name for Pig Latin, stupid.
Is it?
Sure, why not?
I don't think that is. Sports stars. In 2007-2008, this Cleveland Cavalier turned 23 and averaged 30 points a game.
Now, who is LeBron James? The greatest basketball player ever.
He's not the greatest, but that is the answer. That is a good question.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. He's so good in Miami, too. Hope they win every game.
Here, look, this one says homophones. I thought it said hobophobes was the topic. I was going to say Reggie White. Who is Reggie White? All right, an arm bone or an adjective meaning funny.
Rich, what is the humerus?
Well done, Rich.
Ian, why didn't you get that?
Yeah.
Well, because you said rich, and there's no point saying anything unless you get it wrong, right?
Well, I mean, you could
have said
say Ian.
Well, he said it before I could even open my damn mouth.
There's no need for that kind of language.
Huh.
Mythology. He occupied a chair over which the sword of him was suspended by a single thread.
Matt, who is Damocles? Because I have read. Yeah, that's the right answer, Mike. Because I read that fucking book.
I know. I said that is correct.
Well done, Matt.
Thank you, guys.
Don't get so fucking crazy on me, Matt. Give me a second. You're like my wife. She goes, "Hey," and I don't answer the first millisecond, and she goes, "Hey." Just give me a second, Matt. I'll answer your stupid fucking question.
All right. Cool.
I apologize. Bodies of water. It's the smallest and easternmost of the Great Lakes.
Rich, what is Lake Ontario?
Damn. God, Rich, you're a lot smarter than I thought.
That is useless knowledge.
He's got that test up.
He does, I think.
I do not.
Transportation. In 1620, it sailed west from Southampton with Christopher Jones as captain.
Matt, what is the Mayflower?
Well done, Matthew.
Matthew, yes.
Yay, Matt! Yay! I'm winning, right? I can go on Jeopardy now?
No, Rich is definitely ahead.
dickhead.
Postal abbreviations. This Midwest state is the only
Stepping on
one
my
whose
joke.
two-letter postal abbreviation is a preposition.
Rich, what is Indiana?
Indeed.
Ah.
Wow.
See, it's in. In is a preposition.
Mm-hmm.
I wish you were in a coffin.
Let's see who knows their Shakespeare.
Oh.
This completes the line, quote, "Shall I compare thee to," unquote.
Matt, the wind.
It's not the form of a question. It was incorrect anyway.
Rich, what is a summer's day?
You're absolutely looking this up.
No, actually, I was just gonna say that
Then why don't you? I'm waiting
because
for you
he
to get a
said
right
Rich
answer.
again.
Say your
You're like
name
8
then.
minutes.
Jesus.
Is there a prize after this? Does one get to fuck me in the ass?
Is that a prize for you or me?
Hey, everybody, I'm Shock Jock Ian. Fuck in the ass joke time.
Hey, come on now. It was good.
Hey, everyone, look at the time. It's o'clock.
Hey, it's beer 30. It's 4:20 somewhere, right? Yuck. Ice cream. This flavor was invented in 1929 and named in part to reflect the difficult economic times ahead.
Oh, that's an easy one. Rich, what is Rocky Road?
Mm-hmm. Well done.
Oh.
Africa is the topic. In Latin, the name of this country means the place of freedom.
Rich, what is Liberia?
If you're looking at this, Rich, I'm going to kick you in your tits.
I am not looking at it.
All right, that's correct.
You know, this. I shouldn't be surprised that this semi-autistic is winning.
Yes, I know lots of useless things.
Ugh. All right.
African Americans. Born a slave, she helped free others and was the first black woman on a U.S. postage stamp.
Matt.
Yes, Matt?
See, that was me. I kept like really hitting the buzzer there. Who is Harriet Tubman?
Yay!
Yay! I'm winning, right?
Rhyme time. Just one radio advertising song.
What?
What?
I have no idea.
It's rhyme time. That's the topic.
Okay.
So you have to rhyme these two things. Or I mean, the answer. It's two words that rhyme,
Okay.
and this is just one radio advertising song.
I don't know. Probably
I have no
single
idea.
something.
What is a single jingle?
Oh.
What?
Ugh.
That's how this fucking category works. This stinks.
What are you, Denny Falcone or Falcone or whatever his name is?
Benny Falcon. I love when they call him that. U.S. cities. The Oregon Trail and Pony Express route both passed by Casper in this state.
Matt, what is Wyoming?
Come on, Ian, get one right.
Yeah, there's no chance. I'm too
gonna
quick. I'm the winner.
I'm going to keep this game going until Stupid gets one right.
I don't know any of these stupid ass useless
You don't know
fucking
Casper,
questions.
Wyoming?
No. Why would I know that?
It's where the Ghost movie was filmed.
First of all, why the hell are we playing this game seriously instead of making jokes?
Oh, we are.
Cocksuckers.
Whoa. Islands. Smaller than only Greenland. It's the world's second largest island.
Oh, Rich, Papua New Guinea.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, that was a great joke instead of just an actual answer. Jesus Christ,
Retail.
we
Hit
stink.
the bullseye and name this discount retail store. First
Ian.
opened in Dayton.
Target.
Yay! Way to go,
Can we
stupid
be done
face.
now?
Dude, I know none of that. Like,
You'd be terrible at a trivia game, wouldn't you, Ian?
dude,
Like that,
unless it's something absolutely specific, yes.
What do you mean?
Like
What
a
it- what-
specific TV show or something like that, I would be awful. If it was just like general trivia, I'm terrible at it.
What about medical trivia? Like,
I'd probably
what's
be really good at
what's
that.
the funny bone called?
The funny part.
That's a good point, Rich. Yeah, where were you on that one, Ian?
Rich said it first. What am I gonna do? Knock him over?
Just yell Ian louder, and we'll just dismiss Rich. I was tired of his fucking correct answers.
God damn! How do you know all that?
I don't know.
That's a serious question. Like that stuff would go in one ear and out the other if I don't use it.
My parents bought National Geographic, and I just read those as I was growing up.
When? I grew up with you. I never saw you read anything.
Well, yeah, and during the day, it was at night, so I could read from fear of being beat up during the day. Never mind. Just continue.
What? What just happened?
Yes, I was stuttering. Just move on.
Oh, this show deserved to end with a fizzle.
Are we done?
I don't know. Not my show.
Ian,
Yes.
you know what you sounded like during this whole fucking game?
What?
Baz.
An oblivious woman.
Well, that's okay, because I don't know any of these fucking stupid answers. Who knows this shit? Besides the Jeopardy guy. What the hell's that guy's name? I don't even know
Alex
that.
Trebek.
No, not that. The guy-
Ken Jennings.
Yes.
Ken Jennings?
Yes, that guy knows everything. It's
That
ridiculous.
nerd. Rich knew it. Matt knew a bunch. I didn't. I knew like 5 of them. That was about it. So, Ian, that's your topic. Ian!
Yes. What's my topic? What's my topic? You dope? That doesn't even make any sense.
Yes, it does!
How does that make sense?
Ian, what topics did you give me?
Oh, oblivious women? I got it. Oh, I got it.
Stink.
Oh, you stink.
I'm just
Oh, I hate
terrible.
you so
I
much.
do.
Huh?
I know I stink. It's okay.
Oh.
Enjoy, Rich. All right, go ahead, Ian.
Dude, they're just women are just ridiculously oblivious, especially driving. I don't understand it. Like,
Elaborate me.
what isn't the road is straight ahead? It's not like up in the air in the right hand corner and the left hand corner or down by the radio, and they just willy nilly like kind of cross over into one lane or go into the other lane.
Well, it's because they're busy texting.
But I don't understand how women are always. Matt, is your wife oblivious all the time?
No,
Like, this is a serious
actually,
question.
she,
Like, does she have like things she's oblivious about?
No. So I'm.
Matt's lucky. He's hit the jackpot.
I'm very lucky. Yeah, she's a tremendous driver. She gets annoyed at the same things every one of us gets annoyed at when it comes to driving. No, there are very few and very far between. Even when she just gets like stuck staring off into space on things. I'll try to help this conversation if I can. Go ahead, Ian. I'm trying to help.
Well,
Well, I was gonna ask Mike. Mike, what about?
absolutely. Nina is oblivious to anything going around.
That's what I don't understand. It's like they have this tunnel vision that if it's not like from the outsides of their eyeballs in the center of those, like right there in that narrow view, it's like it doesn't exist whatsoever.
Yeah, like we'll be driving somewhere and I'll see something that should catch her attention. I'll be like, "Hey, did you see whatever XYZ?" No, what? Where? When? It's like, what? What the fuck were you just staring at?
Like
there?
it
What
could
are
be
you
a
looking-
747 legitimately crashing in next to them on the highway, and they would not notice.
Well, you know one thing.
They'd be like, "What happened? What was
Talk
that?
over me.
What was that?"
I'm just me. I'm mad. I'm just laughing like an idiot. Oh.
What? Yeah, no. So with Nina, I don't know if this necessarily fits the oblivious thing, but she doesn't tend to explore things below the surface of anything. So she'll be telling me a story, and she'll be like, "Yeah, my boss at work, she wasn't able to come in today. She she wasn't able to come in, so I had to cover for her." I'm like, "Oh, that's weird. Why? Why'd that happen?"
I don't know. That's it right there. I don't know.
It just never crossed her mind to say, "Oh, is she sick? Did she get in a fire? Did she get in a car accident?
Yeah, I jumped into a fire this morning.
Was she brutally raped for some reason?" Like, there's so many times where I'm like, why did that happen? When she's telling a story that it could lead to something interesting, she's like, "I don't know, I didn't ask." Well, why wouldn't you ask?
Because that makes sense.
What do you do? Do you just take in information, just let it sit? You don't go, "Oh, what happened here? Why did this happen? How did that get there?" I'm sorry, I'm going on a little tangent there, but I don't know if that's kind of what you're thinking.
No, but it's true. It's 100% true. Like, if you, unless it has something to do with their emotional state at the time, they don't elaborate on anything. It's like, "Oh yeah, okay, well, and like it's like point. A lot of dots, like after and they just don't have. It's like the mouse is in there, but it's not on the wheel, so they like want to say stuff, but they don't know what to say. It's horrendous. And just working around women, like you ask women questions, like I work around women all the time, and you ask them questions and they look at you like, "What?" Like it's a question, like you can answer it. It's not just a yes or no thing. Like,
well, I mean, I think that's right. If it's not self-involved, it's because women are very self-indulgent. I don't know if it's like a biological thing. General, obviously, there's going to be exception to the rule. Like, Matt was talking about his chick, right? So, I don't know if it's something biological from, back in the caveman days where that was the man's job was to hunt and explore, right? And part of that is you have to. Okay, so why is the animal going this way? Where's it going to go? What's it doing? And I don't know if, like, just sitting in the cave, women just sat there with a kid sitting, licking its tit or whatever. I don't understand. What do they do?
Well, and see, like, that's what drives, like, women are always just on this thing about, like, "Oh, well, women are better than men or we're equal." No, you're not. You guys can't form two sentences together half the time.
Can't even pick up heavy
come
weights.
On.
Or become a buff on something.
Like you said, Mike, there it is.
That was stupid.
How was your poop, Rich?
It was pretty good. I didn't go poop. I had to go.
I had to pee.
Go ahead, Ian.
Wow. We are
Rich,
the worst.
what are your thoughts?
We are the worst at making segues from one thing to another.
That's terrible.
We're
Transitioning.
not even mediocre at it. We're just bad.
Rich, what are your thoughts? I'm sure you have something to say about this.
I skipped out on the beginning of it.
You didn't miss anything.
I'm sure I didn't, but I mean...
Fuck you guys, man.
Oh, he's mad. He's getting mad.
Talk, Rich!
Oh, it's my turn. I think that I really don't have a whole lot to say on it other than the fact that men are always being chastised by women for being oblivious to a lot of things, and I mean women are oblivious to a shit. It seems like a shit ton more than we are, and it's not like unimportant stuff like sports or the game that day or things that men typically care about, but it is the idea of looking deeper into a situation. So like it could be something political, socioeconomic, something like that. I mean, the example that you gave, Mike, about Nina not asking about her boss, I mean, that's just an example of what it could be, but they never seem to look past the surface, as you said, on anything. And so, and I think that's some of the problem with this whole manufactured outrage, is that women are more inclined to have those reactions because they aren't looking down deeper at the context of what's actually going on. It's just they just get upset for the sake of getting upset. I think they're very oblivious to what is actually happening.
Do you think it could be because women are more, they function more on feeling rather than
Rational.
like analytics or logic or rational thought?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but still, you should be able to carry a conversation and give your own opinion, right?
I will say it is kind of odd when you see, and see, I'm struggling because the only person I know who I work with who does this is a guy. There's a guy who's like this, but
really?
Yeah, and not that he's necessarily oblivious. I think he's on his own wavelength, and the things that he gets really into are comparatively trivial to like what anyone else would talk about. But he would. I guess the only experience I would have is like Nelson Mandela died. That was a pretty big story, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But the type of person who you would say, "Hey, did you hear Nelson Mandela died?" And they would just respond like, "Oh, who?" You know, just but you know you want to start talking about the specific wire that goes into your speaker to make it the best speaker in your household for your TV. Fucker talks for 15 minutes. Anyway.
Well, you know, in fairness, when Nelson Mandela died, I was just kind of like, But I didn't have the who part. But the rest of what you said, because it's just like, I don't care. Like, yeah, I mean, they say he's a great guy and stuff. Great. Obviously did great things for people, but
I mean, he did lead a fairly important life and things. So, I mean, you know, well, then maybe you're just an oblivious chick, Mike. What do I know?
Yeah, I don't know. I just personally didn't care. I mean, you know, to me, it was no different than anybody else dying.
Not even just about, like, important conversation, but even if, and I wouldn't even say it's small talk, but if you just have a general, like, if you're generally asking, I know Mike loves cube talk, small talk, but if you just generally ask a woman a question, it's like they give you this very, like, vague answer. And it's like, were you not there? Did you not experience, like, my question? Just like, you know, when we were talking about the people at the concert. Like, were you not there? Did your brain not experience it?
Oh, yeah, of course it was a chick.
Oh, there you go.
Stupid iPad.
Yeah, well, you know,
getting
back to that, I guess, vapid answer. I remember, Mike, you were texting me something once when the royal baby. Do you remember that one? And you were like, you're just like, there's this woman at my work just screaming at her desk, "There's going to be a royal baby. There's going to be a royal baby." So I politely walked over and went, "Why is this important to you?" And she just stared at you.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, to make it worse, she goes, "We're gonna have a royal baby. We're gonna have a royal baby," and that just drove me crazy because we aren't doing anything. We're not involved. We're not even on the same continent, stupid whore. So, no. Secondly, I asked her, like, why should anyone care about that? And you're right, Matt. She had no response. I said, why would we care? Who cares? It's some broad that plays a princess in a fucking faraway land, and we're supposed to give a shit? Fuck you. Sorry, I really don't mean to get mad. I was trying to be kind of calm in this show today, but apparently that didn't happen. I apologize.
Do you need to be happy? Do you need to get happier, Mike?
You know, if only there was something where there was, like, you know, something that would tell me how to get better, how to be happy.
Do you mean 8 ways to be happier?
Do you have 8 ways I could be happy, Matt?
As soon as I pull the website up again, I sure will. Wait, no, I'm finding it. There it is. Yay, internet.
What 8 things do I need, Matt?
Oh, well, first of all, let's get into this. Self-control. What it is, why it matters, and how to get more.
Well, first, let's ask psychology. What do you have What do you have, Ian? Is that a bachelor's?
Bachelor's in psychology.
Got a master's in stupidity. Mean for no reason.
All right, so self-control. Okay.
Self-control.
What's the next one?
You don't want to know about it. You just want to know what they are, but not about them. All right. Self-control is number one. You know what else you need, Mike?
What's that?
Grit.
Okay. Well, let's start with those two. What is self-control? Why does it matter? And how do I get more, Matt?
Well, self-control is doing what's in line with your most fundamental goals. Even, this is important, Mike, even when you're tempted to stray. That's right. Why does it matter? There's a paragraph about that, but who cares? It's important. It pushes you to make difficult choice, like go to the gym, over the immediately appealing option, sleep.
Oh, God, then he goes to
How do you get more? Think, talk, or blog about what you're ultimately aiming for and why, says Lady McGillicuddy, Ph.D., the author of Willpower Instinct. Hey, that's right. You know.
Well, you know what, Matt? I actually found the article you were just talking about.
Yeah.
I see grit, and I'd like to read it for myself if you don't mind.
Oh, please do.
The raw endurance, perseverance, and passion that keep you going despite obstacles. Like stammering over that sentence. I kept going. I had the grit to keep going. Now, Matt, why would it matter? You're understanding?
I am on waiting with bated breath.
Well, you know what? Realizing big dreams, it takes work, right? Wouldn't you say?
I would say that.
Okay, well, researchers at some useless college asked people in a variety of fields, from banking to art, to describe star performers whose grit came up over and over again. And guess what?
Yeah?
It was also closely linked with a higher college JIPA.
Shit. Maybe that's why. Stunk.
Now, how do I get more? I'm sure Rich and Ian, you guys are wondering, how do we get more, right?
Absolutely. You tell us, Mike.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you how you can develop grit. You can do that by taking what some dickhead calls long cuts rather than shortcuts. Build your grit gradually, like a muscle. For instance, if you're psyched about cooking, make a homemade version of your favorite takeout dish. Right? Rather than going to McDonald's and getting a fucking quarter pounder.
Were you
cheese.
about to say Whopper at McDonald's?
I sure was. Now, so Matt, I'd have to imagine there's probably a third option, right? Because you said 8 ways. What's the third?
Well, Mike, if self-control is a bit out of your grasp, and you don't want to be gritty because that can be tough, how about just having a little more curiosity?
Oh, I'm curious. What do you mean?
That is a penchant for seeking out the new and different.
Oh. Well, why would that matter?
Well, people who describe themselves as intentionally curious report greater satisfaction and a deeper sense of meaning. Now, if you cast about for diverse solutions, you're less liable to go with the first thing you come up with, says Fartmouth K, last name PhD, author of Curious? With a question mark on it.
So, Ian, can you please transcribe that mumbo jumbo into regular people speak?
I have no idea what any of that shit is.
Good old Ohio State at work.
Well, you know what, Ian?
Matt,
You're seeming a little down on yourself. Like, you don't seem to be real thrilled with this. Like, you're being a bit of a sourpuss, if I might say. Maybe you need a little more optimism.
Well, and you know what, Ian? I'm sure you're wondering, what is optimism? Well,
I would love to tell me exactly what optimism is, please.
Well, it's simple. It's just believing that the best may lie ahead.
Oh.
In other words, lying to yourself and having hope in life.
That's what that is.
Now, Ian, I'm sure you're thinking, yeah, but why would optimism matter? Well, here's the thing. It's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you have faith that good things are likely to happen, Well, you're going to be more open opportunities when they arise, says a researcher from Duke University. Found that optimistic MBA grads got jobs faster despite being pickier. So it's like this, Ian. When you think you've got a shot, well, it makes sense that you'll prep more and come across as more confident.
That makes sense. Tell me more, Mike.
Well, I'm sure you're wondering, how do you get more? Well, Rich, let me tell you how you get more optimistic, because you're down in the dumps right now. Okay? Small effort, but a big payoff, okay? Each day, think of 3 things that went well and why.
He's got nothing.
I'm talking to you, Rich.
Yeah, I know.
Let me explain it this way, in layman's terms. You know what the difference is between ordinary and extraordinary, Rich?
I do not want to.
An extra.
To me.
It's just that little extra.
It's the power of one.
Mm-hmm. Now, I don't want to take up all the airtime. Matt, what's number 5? I'm sure there's a fifth one, but maybe you can explain.
I just thought it sounded like Rich is kind of sounds like he's feeling a bit alone. Do you feel a bit alone, Rich? You feeling like
Sometimes.
just? Well, maybe you need more love. That would, that is close, caring relationships where the good vibes flow both ways.
Not just a one-way street, Richard.
No.
Two ways.
I'm really not interested in any of this.
Well,
Well, you know why? It's because you don't have grit, you're not optimistic, and you're feeling a little lonely.
But Rich, did you know that according to the Journal of Who Gives a Shit Brain Stuff, when people were standing next to a friend, they perceived a hill as less steep than did those who were alone. And get this, Rich, the longer they'd known that friend, the less steep the hill seemed.
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck does that even matter unless you want to jump down the damn hill? I don't understand.
It's looking up at the hill.
Looking up at the hill.
hill. Okay.
Climbing
Yeah.
the hill.
Now,
Gotcha.
Rich, since it sounds like you don't seem to have much, here's how you can get more love. According to Dickhead Doctor again, whether a pal wants to spill the news of her fabulous date or the new apartment she scored, ask for deets. You'll attach positive energy to the bond and help it flourish.
You know what, though, Matt?
What else?
I think you're on to something.
I think
there
I am,
with,
but I feel like there's more. Can you help me out, Mike? Is there something else that can make me a happier me?
Yeah, I think more so for Rich. He is really lacking social intelligence.
Oh, that's a good one, Mike. What is social intelligence?
Well, it's your gaydar. How well you pick up on gay areas of the situation.
You were waiting for that one. You read that wrong, Mike. I don't think that's what it said.
Oh, how well you pick up on gay areas of a situation. Yeah, that's what it said. Now, you might be wondering, why does it matter?
Why does it matter?
Mm-hmm. Well, when you're dealing with tricky office politics or navigating a tense family dinner, like when you're trying to come out, or trying to decode any interaction in which someone isn't expressing exactly what they mean, well, being able to read people, because you're terrible at that, Rich. You need to learn how to do that. That'll win you allies and make everyday encounters a lot more fun.
It is very true. I'm pretty awful at that. You remember when Fran had that one girl over and I asked her if she was staying the night because I wanted to know?
No. You didn't ask her if she was staying the night. You said, I'm going to make pancakes in the morning. Would you like some? Just assuming Fran was going to stick his penis in her and she would stay.
Yeah.
I was honestly one of the few uncomfortable moments I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's good.
And since you lack social intelligence, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell you how to get more, Rich. You know what you need to do? You're a big James Bond fan, right, Rich? 007 himself? Think yourself...
Am I going to have to spy for something?
You're gonna think of yourself as a spy bent on figuring out what your coworker your boss or whoever is feeling but not saying, right? So if you think Fran's going to fuck this chick and she's going to stay the night, why don't you maybe talk to him about it before you offer her some fucking pancakes?
You know, Rich,
So if you're
that
pissed-
sounded pretty selfish of you. Sounded like you were being pretty selfish on that.
What, because I wanted to share my pancakes?
And being self-absorbed, only thinking about yourself and how many pancakes you had to make. And you know what? Doesn't sound like you were very grateful for just the mere fact that Fran had a nice friend over for the evening. I think you could use a little more. Somebody just throw down their headset. Oh, Rich, did you know that gratefulness is fully appreciating and noticing the good in yourself, other people, and the world at large? Then giving that appreciation back in spades.
Isn't that a racial
A little
term?
bit. Now, Rich, I know that you need to be educated on this, so let me tell you why gratefulness matters. You know, we all say thank you countless times a day, usually automatically. But as these couple of morons said, unlike self-control or grit, which tends to require a goal, gratitude exists on its own, and when you express true gratitude, you motivate others to be generous, which we know produces joy. As
Which you've never produced joy for anybody in your entire
no,
life.
very, very true, Mike. Rich has only produced sadness and anger in others.
Mm-hmm. You know why?
Why is that?
Because he's not feeling loved, he's not feeling optimistic,
Nope.
and he's not grateful.
Let me tell you something, Rich. As some shitbag said, you can be grateful to be alive. The rest is gravy.
That's right.
Now, Mike, I feel like we've counted off 7 ways to help improve Rich's happiness. Is there anything left?
Well, yeah.
I thought this was a list of 8. What's that last
Let me
one?
think here. Let me think. I got it. I think the 8th one, and this is key, Rich, for, your enhancement in life, is you're just not zest. You're not tackling life with energy, excitement, enthusiasm, and eagerness. You're not zestfully clean, as I like to say. Bomaroo. People filled with positive energy tend to see their work as a calling and end up more satisfied than with what they do in life, right? Said the journal of Who Gives a Turkey. Now, how do you get more zest, Rich? Well, some people are naturally zestfully clean, but attitude, life goals, and health can play a big part.
It's going to be a problem for you.
Do you have any life goals, Rich?
Not really, no.
Great, because the professor of psychology at the University of Who Gives a Shit, Dick Anal Fist, said zest is contagious. So surrounding yourself with active, interested, and enthusiastic people helps. Like us. Obviously, me and Matt have all of these things. You two tend to lack them.
That's a
So when the
definite-
blahs do hit, Rich, listen to your body. Listen to your pals. Take a mini break and recharge.
Getting those blahs, Rich?
Huh?
Couple of blahs?
You know what you
What
do?
do you do?
You call a pal like me or
You
McFadden.
call a pal, that's right.
Or you go outside for a walk or a bike
Hopefully
ride.
in heavy traffic.
Mm-hmm. Or start drinking heavily and doing illicit drugs to get your juices flowing again.
Paying a
Now,
prostitute.
don't you
not
feel
wearing a
happy
bag.
already? Don't you feel happy already, Rich?
I do. I feel like a new man.
Sound like it.
Can we move on now?
Why are you so quick to look past these emotions, Rich, that you lack?
Did you have a
I
bad
am
childhood?
extremely uninterested in this subject.
Well, that's the problem, Rich. You're uninterested in enhancing yourself. You lack love. You lack social intelligence. You're not zestful. You have no curiosity whatsoever, unless it's by curiosity. You have no optimism, which is why you're going to move to Louisville, where dreams go to die. You have no self-control whatsoever. I've seen you eat bowls of cereal. It's ridiculous. And you certainly have no grit.
Sounds like the product of a bad childhood to me.
Mm-hmm.
What can I say? I had an angry dad.
There we go! What? That was on my list of topics.
Did you just mark it off the list?
Yeah, I just checked it off.
Yeah, we heard the pin click.
Oh, my favorite part about this is we've done 2 hours and blown through all these topics, and we're supposed to do another show tomorrow. We are gonna have nothing.
It's going to be fantastic. You know what, though, Matt?
What's that, Mike?
Yeah, we could save angry dads for tomorrow.
We're going to persevere. Okay?
Okay.
You know why? Because we have grit here at the
Oh,
Just stop. Just
Mediocrity Perfected podcast.
God, even
Okay.
I don't want to play that fucking horseshit game anymore.
can we see, please?
We have the self-control, okay, to find more topics. All right? And the discipline and the curiosity to look into headlines and things that would be of interest to 3 people.
I
who may
wish you
listen.
had the curiosity to look down a shotgun barrel.
And here's the thing. Matt, I'm very optimistic that the show tomorrow is going to be great.
I'm
You
not.
know why? Because we have the social intelligence to see, right?
I'm not.
And
You
we
know
have the
why? Because I'm
love.
going to sabotage the whole fucking show.
You know what, though? Here's the thing. We have the love for each
What are you
other.
gonna do? Show up?
All right? You know, and we're going to be grateful that all 4 of us will be there. And we're going to have the zest and the energy and excitement, guys. I sound like a fucking, sales manager.
Maybe assistant manager.
I hate those guys. Well, you know what? This show just petered off into nothing.
Yeah, we normally finish pretty strong. Not today, though.
Because we don't
Nope,
have...
not one bit.
There's no one
It's
around
'cause
to
we don't
play
have
any
beat.
illegal music. Oh,
Well,
God.
you know what we can do?
What can we do, Mike?
In the show, please.
What can we do besides a murder-suicide pact?
Oh, man. This show is really the ending of the show was foreshadowed by my fucking running out of gas joke earlier today.
It really was. Oh, God. Oh. Well, if you want to end on a high note, does Shock and Jock Rich have anything he wants to say?
No, I'm done. Let's just end.
Well, I think it'd be good to let Ian go and watch his game. You know, the Packers game's coming
Big
on.
Packers
He needs
game.
to get his Sterling Sharp jersey
Go
on,
Pack,
his
go.
cheese head, and his discount double check.
I don't care what
Title
anyone
belt on.
said. Mark Shimura had that babysitter was 18.
Hey, she looked 18. She said she was 18. That's all you need in Wisconsin.
Felt like she was 18.
I wouldn't know. I don't go that old.
God damn it! Can we just end on any kind of high note ever? Just one awful joke. Thank you. And punt.
That's probably a perfect way to go out.
All right. Can't wait for tomorrow.
All right, just hit stop on your Audacity. Save it correctly.
Bye.